Hey everybody, and welcome back to K-Pop Cosmos. I am your host, Freyja, and joining me once again is Mark. Hey Mark, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Freya? I am so happy to be here and talking about another established, iconic K-pop group.
Oh yeah, so today's group is super, like you said, super iconic. Everyone in Korea knows who they are. Everyone in Korea knows their songs, and that is, of course, TVXQ.
걸음은 never stop, take it up, 끝까지 맞아, I'm on trouble, break the rules like the river. 느껴지지 않는 quicker, 빛이 거쳐 너 거꾸로. Wow, 더 원하잖아, don't you want it? I'm on trouble, break the rules like a river. 빛나기만을 위해 세상이 운동한 일 때문에 게임에 그치고게 내가 믿는 대로 go. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Bringing the energy.
Yeah, so they're so good. I love them so much. So DBSK, also known as TVXQ for the internationals, that's their international name, but I know them as DBSK, so I'm going to call them DBSK. And they are a two-man group right now. Let me zoom this in. They debuted originally as 5 members in December 26, 2003. So, if you may or may not have noticed, some of their songs have Christmas songs mixed in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's because they debuted around Christmas. So, when they first debuted, their very first stage was on a Boa and Britney Spears special. So, and I remember I watched an interview and they were talking about they didn't know Britney Spears was going to be there. So they kind of freaked out a little bit and they were incredibly nervous. And when they performed a cappella and then they did Oh Holy Night with Boa. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, because you think debut, this is your very first song. And they're like, oh, you have no backup vocals. You don't even have music. Have fun. So one thing you'll also know is that they were originally, okay, this is what I've heard, people. So if I get things wrong, just let us know in the comments. You know, this is just what I've researched. They were originally supposed to debut as an a cappella group, but SM changed their minds.
But that's interesting. I mean, I can kind of see that because they're very strong vocally. So I can definitely understand how they'll be like, okay, these guys are going to be the a cappella group. I totally get that.
Yeah, like they have full on like compilations of just them doing a cappella. Like they did a cappella versions of like a Boys to Men song and all these other songs. And they're really good. Here, I'm just going to let you guys listen to an a cappella that they did on the street during one of their shows in Paris. I have so much. Okay, so I was, before I do that, I'm just going to explain myself a little bit. They were the very first K-pop group I was into. Like, they were my intro boy group. Like, you don't understand.
Wow.
They were my first. So, I was never officially a Cassiopeia because there was no way for me to be officially a Cassiopeia. And that's their fandom name, by the way. And Cassies were huge. They had like almost 200,000 active Cassies at the time. And this was before social media. It was insane. And like, they were scary. Like, I was watching a show called X-Men. Sometimes they'll make reference to this show on a Korean show still. And I was watching it. It had all the DBSK members in it. And when someone else on the show was going to beat a DBSK member, you could hear the Cassies hissing in the audience. They were so loud. And of course, the person would like quit. And it made me sad because the guys looked upset because, you know, like we were having fun and now we're not. So it was a little sad, but I was like, oh my gosh, this fandom's scary. So like I never left any comments or anything because I was so scared of the Cassies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Cassies, and they were like the biggest, and they're also known as the most toxic. Well, they didn't say toxic at the time. They were the meanest at the time too. But they've aged, and they still have young fans too. But here, I'm gonna have this acapella, just because I got to show off my boys.
보이게 주어진 실이라면 운명 따윈 믿지 말아요. 너무 whatever they say, no listen girl. 우리 질투할 뿐이죠. 내가 너의 모든 진실들 그대만 믿어주길 바랄 뿐이죠. Whatever they say, I don't care. 널 사랑하는 걸요.
Sorry. And like one of them back there's just drinking his drink. Like they're just no inner ears, guys. So don't be using the stupid inner ear as an excuse of why your K-popper can't sing. Sorry. They're on the streets doing this, okay? So I probably pissed off quite a few people with that comment. But yeah, they're so good. They're still known as like the gods of K-pop. Like they're not even just legends. Like they're the gods of K-pop. And actually that's kind of their theme too, because DBSK is Dongbang Shiki, which actually means rising gods of the east or something like that.
Oh,
and
okay.
so yeah, rising gods of the east. So if you watch a lot of their music videos, you'll notice that they have like superpowers, or they're hanging out with like the Greek goddesses in one of them. And that's because they're supposed to be like gods of the east, you know. So that was kind of their ongoing theme. Yeah, it's Dongbang Shingi. I can't say it right, but yeah, and their fandom is Cassiopeia's. Their fandom color was pearl red. So in like their old videos, you'll see people with like red balloons.
Yep.
Because back then we didn't have the personalized, you know, sticks that we used to have now. Oh, let me show you there they are. Look at the little babies. So yeah, this is all 5 of them. Yeah, so and then their fan stick. This is what their current light stick is. It's a star, and it's simple, it's cute, it goes with them. But let me get their officials up for you guys if you want to follow, and there's a lot. So there's a lot. So one of the remaining members is Yuno. So he was, let's see, he was the leader, main rapper, main dancer, vocalist, and center. He was born in South Korea. See, he's good friends with Super Juniors Heechul and Donghae, who isn't friends with Heechul at this point. He enlisted already. Let's see. Oh, they don't really have very many facts about Yuno, but he was known back in the day to like be the dancer of the group. They would always like, he had the best dancing, quote unquote. It was kind of interesting because then you go and you look at everyone else, you're like, I mean, yeah, he had a lot of charisma, is what I think it is. He puts a lot of powerful moves. And then Heechul was making fun of him one time on, I think, Knowing Brothers, because during one of their concerts, he got a little overly aggressive and he ripped his pants open.
Oh.
And they were laughing because you could see his boxers or his underwear. And he's like, is that why you wear dark underwear now? And they're like, yeah, he's not as powerful as he used to be because he ripped his pants. I'm like, poor guy. I was like, I feel so bad for him. And but let's see. And then let's go on to Chongmin. Sorry, there's a lot of members and a lot to talk about, so I'm just kind of not trying to stay on one person for too long. So Chongmin, he was I believe the last one. No, was he the last one to sign on? He joined when he was 15. He was the maknae, so he was the youngest. His name is Max. He was also born in Seoul. He has 2 younger siblings. Both of his parents are professors. He's the only Buddhist in DBSK. I believe everyone else is Christian. Let's see. He used to have bad eyesight until he got LASIK. He is, let's see. And then, let's see. Everyone hung out with Super Junior, so I'm just going to skip that. So he got married to his non-celebrity girlfriend in 2020, and they have a son who was born 2 years later. He's one of the few K-poppers who has a successful career and is still married. So good for him. I'm always happy when they get married and I want celebrity babies. I think it's adorable. I want them to be happy. Let them be happy. And he did his solo debut in April of 2020. And he was the MC for the show Kingdom Legendary War. And well, it doesn't matter what his ideal type is right now. He's married.
That's right.
Yeah, he's happily married right now. And then we have the former members. So this is Jaejong. He was my favorite. His stage name was Hero. And so he'll still make jokes about it. He also is the one, drove me nuts. Whenever they would ask, oh, do you have a girlfriend? He goes, yeah, I do have a girlfriend. And he's like, it's my fans. So that you can thank him for that crap. And he still does it. He still does it. So let's see. He was adopted, which is honestly, adoption is a great thing. I applaud everyone who is able to adopt. When he was 15, he moved to Seoul by himself in order to take part in the auditions for SM Entertainment. And he took various jobs to pay for, training fees and food and rent and everything. He likes playing video games, piano. He's a composer. He likes to cook. He's friends with Boa, S501's Hyungjung, Super Junior's Heechul. Like I said, everyone's friends with Heechul.
Yeah, seriously.
Beast Junhyung and Empire's Lumen. He is a very popular solo idol. He owns Cafe J-Holic and Coffee Koji. I don't know. He has a Japanese restaurant chain that he owns together with Park Yoon-chu. I believe that's Mickey, and then a bar in Gangnam. He's the CEO and designer of luxury clothing shop Mold Deer. He's also the CEO of Cave Mall in Shibuya. Oh, jeez. He owns so much. He's also done, all of these guys have done their military service. He was known. So there's a video. I didn't find it, but there's a video. He had a blind fan who, because he was known to be like really pretty, and they still make comments about it. Like, you're like a girl. You're so pretty. He did not really appreciate that. Let's just say that. But he had a fan at a fan meet come up, and she was blind, and she told him that he was her bias because she loved his voice so much. And it's so sweet because after the interaction, you see him break down and start crying because it was like he knew that she liked him because of his voice and not because of his face. And it was just so sweet. And I'm like, oh, because everyone talks about his face. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. But it's one of the most famous in fan interactions that an idol's done, because it's just how cute it was. Oh, and this is his light stick.
Right.
Because he's a solo artist. Also, with his solo career, I watched a concert with my sister with him. He had an S&M themed concert.
Oh, wow.
In Japan. It was fantastic, actually. Because then he went backstage to like change his outfit or to do a break. he's on this couch and he's just chit chatting, and they would pick a member of the audience, and they would like, and he would talk to them. He's like, "Are you an S or an M?"
Wow.
Like, they would talk and he'd joke, and it was fun. And my sister's like, she didn't understand what it was, because that's kind of like an Asian way to talk about S&M. I don't know. She's not into that. So she's like, "What does that mean?" And I had to explain to my sister what they were talking about. And she's like, "Oh, that explains some of the outfits."
Right.
So I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was like, "This is so funny." It was so cute. He doesn't really do that anymore. But I was like, "We got to go to his concert, man. That's great." And then we have Mickey. So Mickey is also known as Park Yoo-chun. He was the main rapper and vocalist. They were all vocalists. He's born in Seoul, has a little brother. He liked composing, lyrics, rap, piano, and RC car racing. He moved to the United States when he was in the 6th grade, and he lived in Virginia. He owns a Japanese restaurant in Gangnam, or he did anyway. I don't know if they still do. And let's see. So Mickey. Okay, I don't usually talk about scandals, but this isn't a scandal. This is an actual. He got in legal trouble, and I'm not talking little legal trouble. He got in like serious legal trouble, so much so that it destroyed his career, and he's been blacklisted, like officially on the book blacklisted. And it was he tested positive for drug usage. And we're not talking pot, guys. We're talking the hard stuff, like meth. He got some methamphetamines. So he's been blacklisted. He's trying to, lift the blacklist now. He wanted to be an actor. It's not happening. So he's just kind of gone from the entertainment industry completely. Because he was trying to be an actor, I think, in like China, Taiwan. It wasn't Korea. But yeah, so he made some poor decisions, and because he was found guilty of it, I'm gonna mention it. But sad, and be careful what you choose. Don't do drugs. Just don't. It screws you up. And then Sha. So Sha. Okay. Kim. He's also known as Kim Jun-soo. That's his real name. And his stage name is Sha. He was the main vocalist. He was the guy who's usually in the center. He's so freaking adorable. Can I just say that? Like, he has this stage presence, and then when he like talks to people, he has like this soft voice that he talks. He's just so cute. He was, let's see, born in South Korea. He has an older twin brother. He likes piano and soccer. He's best friends with Super Junior's Eunhyuk. His fandom name is Coconut. his solo fandom name. He has a very successful solo career. Like, he really does. He's chart topping. Him and Jae-jun were like #1 charts all the time. He's also in musical theater. I think he's starting his own musical theater company actually at this point. He, in 2016, it was reported that he was dating Exid's Hani for 6 months, and then they broke up due to their busy schedules. And then, Palm Tree Island. So with TVXQ, you're like, well, what happened to like over half the group? Why is half the group? Why is it only 2 instead of the 5? So what happened? Oh, and also Junsu, he was a trainee since he was 11 or something like that. And SM just couldn't make up their mind. They kept changing. Like, he was in multiple different groups with like Eunhyuk and Sungmin and all these things, and they constantly were like, oh, we changed our mind, never mind. And then he's like, oh, you're going to be in this with Heechul and Kangin. Oh, wait, never mind. So he was constantly thrown around with different like Oh, you're going to debut with them. Oh, you're going to debut with them. And then they debuted Super Junior with like 13 members. And then, and then they were like, oh, you guys are going to be an a cappella group. And Mickey only had like, it was Mickey. Mickey was the last one. Mickey had like 2 months of training before they debuted. And then they said when they debuted, they were told that they were going to go do like a photo shoot. And it actually was a meeting like, oh, you're debuting. So this is what you're going to do. And they're like, what? So they're like, I thought this was a photo shoot. I didn't know we were debuting. What's going on? So SM was all sorts of all over the place with them. So, and that feeds into what happened. So, DBSK in 2000 and let me find just go to, okay. So some other controversy that happened. Their song Neurotic, which is a super popular song that everybody knows. It was actually banned in Korea. So because of 2 lyrics, I think. It was I Got You, which they had to change to I Choose You. And the main one was I Got You Under My Skin, which was in English. And they said it was too provocative. So instead of using the word skin, they changed it to sky, which I think is so stupid considering the other groups that we have looked at in this time period. And I'm like, seriously, with what you guys were making the girls do, you're gonna complain about this lyric that's not even in Korean? You know, I was like, and the guys in this music video, they're not even like wearing shirts either. So it's like, it's this? Okay, whatever. But anyway, back to why the 3 members left. So in 2009, Jaejong, Mickey, and Junsu submitted an application to the Seoul District Court to determine the validity of their contracts with their management and with SM. The trio stated that a 13-year contract was excessively long. The schedules were held out without the confirmation or permission of the members. Contract terms had been extended and changed without their knowledge or consent, and that the group's earnings were not fairly distributed between the members. So, and they also had that early termination penalty. So DBSK, and you guys need to thank them for this lawsuit, by the way, because this shed light on the slave contracts that were going on with idols at the time.
Right.
They would they didn't have like cutoff dates for, you know, being an idol. And what, even if the company decided to boot you out of the group, you still couldn't hold down a normal job while you're still under this exclusivity contract that they put you under. So you're like literally sitting there not being able to do anything because you're under a 13-year contract. 13 years. That is insane. And they said they changed their schedules, which we saw that SM was super wishy-washy even before they debuted with like their scheduling. They're like, surprise, this is what you're doing. And they're like, okay, you know. So, and people know that the management, like people complain about the management treating their idols badly today. I'm like, oh, sweetie, sweetheart, you sweet little babe. You have no idea what the second genders had to go through. We haven't even talked about Super Junior and what was going on with them, because oh my gosh. Because after this lawsuit with SM, other groups like Super Junior and Highlight, well, they were called Beast at the time, and a couple other groups started suing their companies as well for the same thing because of the slave contracts. So in like 2014, they put a cap on 7 years. That's why their contracts only go up to 7 years, because that's the maximum they can have the contracts for. So, and that's why.
That's one of the things that when I got into K-pop, I was like, wow, that seems, 7 years seems like a long time, but it also seems like, that will give say you're bringing in like a young, you're bringing in a young group, they've been training for a few years. You give them like 5-6 years training, and then you debut them. Who they are and then who they're going to be like 7 years from that point could be two totally different things.
Yeah.
So keeping them for 7 years I thought was kind of a long time. And then I read about this and I'm like, I can't even believe there was a time where SM was like, oh yeah, we got you guys for 13 years. And that's it.
Yeah. And these guys, in some of the shows they talk about it. They also, the members of that left, they go, people don't even know the full story. This is just tip of the iceberg of what they were suing for. They said the general public has no idea. No, they have no idea what it actually was. And they're like, because of essentially gag orders and stuff, they can't even really talk about it. They just say, it's not the full story. You don't know. And no one probably ever will, except for us members and the company. And, and I was like, with all the shady things that happened in entertainment, just in general, because we've talked about like the forced, like the dark side of K-pop a little bit, like way back in the day with like the forced prostitution and stuff. I'm like, you don't even know, guys, like the crap that went down back in the day to these poor, idols. And I hope that wasn't a thing in this, but we never really know.
Right.
Like I really seriously hope not. But we do know that SM was wishy-washy with their schedules. I mean, we all saw that. But yeah, and then after this lawsuit, it took them a couple years. It said both parties mutually agreed to withdraw their lawsuits, and that SM was not allowed to interfere with each other's business, essentially. But everyone knows how petty SM can be. So, what happened after this is, and it's like, what people are like, well, why haven't I ever heard of these guys? Even though they're so insanely popular and they're chart topping and they're, selling so many albums, blah, 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 blah. So there was kind of a shadow ban on them. It wasn't anything official because they weren't allowed to outright ban them. But there is a reason why Jaejoong, Mickey, and Junsu were never allowed to be on Korean television, like on the music shows. The music shows go, oh, we just, we choose other people. I'm like, these are freaking DBSK members. These people are insanely popular. And you're saying, oh, well, not everyone who wants to be on the show can be on the show. I'm like, bullshit. And it's been going on for 10 years. Jaejoong's very first TV appearance, well, besides dramas, like on like music TV, was like last week or last month.
Wow.
Like, and they celebrated, and there's articles about like, oh, he's back on Korean TV. I'm like, yeah. And you know what happened recently? You want to know something suspicious that just recently happened? Who's no longer the CEO of SM anymore?
Right.
And sold all of his shares. Lee Soo-man. He's not involved in SM anymore. Now, magically, these guys can appear on TV again? That's suspicious. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it's suspicious.
It's just a big coincidence.
It's just a giant...
Nothing to do with each other at all.
Oh, no. Winky dink. Nothing, nothing to see here. And it's ironic and funny. And his reaction was funny. Jaejoong, Hybe sent him like a giant flower basket, and like all these companies did, and he even got one from SM.
Wow.
He read it and he got this look on his face, and everyone's like, like, how dare you? Like, welcome back. He's like, yeah. He was probably thinking, like, yeah, right, you bastards. But yeah, now they can go on, these TV shows again. However, they have been killing it on their own. And it's a mess. Mickey just isn't. He's just gone. It's sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just gone. So now that we're done with that awkwardness. Oh, so not really. So back to Junsu. So Junsu, he came online. He did an interview about the blacklisting and not being able to do broadcasts. And he said, so how he got into musical theater. He was talking about how he got into musical theater. So he said that he cried himself to sleep every night because he couldn't do broadcasts anymore. And he felt like so distraught, and he was like, he's like, what should I do? What can I do? He's like, I've been essentially blacklisted from the Korean entertainment industry. What can I do? Like, he was 11 when he was a trainee. This kid had nothing else in his life that he knew he was good at, you know? That's why I don't like the young kids going into K-pop, because it essentially like puts them in this situation. So he said he cried himself to sleep every night. He was so distraught. And I think he said he's like, can I just teach singing lessons? And I don't know. And so he said that he was approached by a musical theater company who offered him a role in the play, the play Mozart, as the lead. And he's like, I don't know. And they're like, just read it. Just read the music and tell us how you like it. So he read it, and he said that he loved it so much that he said, yeah, I'll do it. And this company was about to go under. Like, they were not making any money. So, so they offered him this career, and he did it. And the Cassies, bless their hearts, when they found out he was in this production, every single night was sold out. Every single night.
Wow.
And they said that he saved that company from going bankrupt because Cassies turned up in force for this man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was like, these these two members never lost popularity. Ever when they left. They're still killing it. Junsu, they did in 2015, they did a 25th Seoul Music Awards, did a domestic popularity contest, Korean only. He won by 46%, 46.7%. So almost 47% voted for him.
That's crazy.
And this was in 2015. Like, he is insanely popular. And he was L in the Death Note musical. And so he just kind of really went into this musical theater thing. And he also did, his pop music. But like, I think he owns, like I said, I think he has created his own musical theater company. So good for him. I'm so happy.
Yeah. To go from someone who didn't want to, who that wasn't his thing before, he was hesitant to join it, to like not only joining it, but flourishing in it, and now opening the opportunity for other people. That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and he did great. Oh, this is his light stick, by the way. It's cute.
Oh, that's cool. I like that one.
Yeah, it's nice. It's sleek. So going back to Jaejoon. So, because I glossed over him. Jaejoon, when he left the company, he also was struggling a lot because first they did JYJ, and that was created by their Japanese label, but then SM sued them. So there was another lawsuit involved, and they're like, no, they can't do that. And so the Japanese label dropped them, and then they came out with a thing saying, we support the other DBSK. And so I was like, something suspicious. I'm not saying what it is, but the puzzle pieces are a little suspicious. So that's JYG disbanded after that. Didn't last very long. So Jaejoon, after that, in one of their DBSK songs, they came in contact with the one, the only Yoshiki from X Japan, who, if you are into J-Rock or Visual K, know that man. He's ultra famous. Like, my Visual K heart was like, oh my gosh, no wonder I like, it was from their song Triangle, where they have this random breakdown where they, the band Trax shows up.
Yeah.
And so it's also why they have the crazy, more on that later, but like, he came in contact with Yoshiki. So Jaejoon, he kind of became a J-rocker after this. He moved to Japan, and he started his career again there. And he kind of leaned more into, if you watch his solo music, it's J-rock, essentially. It's just in Korean,
Oh, okay.
Like, you watch his music videos, like it's super J-rock. And even in one of the videos, I don't remember what it's called. He went by Jae-jun in his solo stuff. I think it's called Big Revolution, and it says featuring Sugizo. So Sugizo is also a visual K artist who is in Luna Sea, and he was in X Japan. So he made obviously connections with the X Japan members, probably through Yoshiki when they did Triangle with him and some other songs. And Jae-jun said he always loved visual K and J-rock anyway. So he went and just became a J-rocker. And also his first performance on Korean television was last year at, what was it, the Seoul Music Awards, at one of the award shows. And that's how I was like, Jae-jun's back. Where did he come from? Because I instantly recognized him. I'm like, where have you been? And I'm like, oh, that's why I didn't find you. You became a J-rocker. Oh. So he came back, and I was super excited. And also, DBSK last year celebrated their 20th anniversary. So they've been around for 20 years. So congratulations, guys. In Max for being around for 20 years and for the other members for keeping their careers alive through hardships. So moving on from the sad depressingness of that, let's talk about the music of DBSK. So they made them do some silly things back in the day. Like they did a little drama commercial with Girls' Generation, which caused a lot of hate for Girls' Generation, which was really sad. Like I said, Cassies were very scary back in the day. And it is also where I got that stupid funny stuck in my head. And I'm going to make you guys watch that. So here's the clip.
funny Tiffany!
떨려.
오빠도 떨려.
흔들려.
오빠도 흔들려.
오빠 멋있어.
Stupid commercial. It's not even the full thing. The full thing is like 2 minutes long, and there's 3 of them. They're all on YouTube. Go watch them. They're all on YouTube. I'm like, oh my gosh, that stupid funny is just stuck in my head forever since I watched that way back in the day. Oh my gosh. And I was so jealous because that stupid phone was the first one I ever saw that was a touch screen. And like, you could tilt it and stuff, and it would shake. I was like, and I was sitting there with my Motorola Razr, and I'm like, I wish my phone could do that. I'm like, dang it, Korea. But like, now y'all have to suffer with the funny Tiffany stuck in. But yeah, DBSK were great. Back in the day, they did like my Little Princess. They did an acapella version of that. They did a lot of acapella versions of their songs. They were also like the music video Triangle. Did you watch that one?
I did watch that one mainly because it said featuring Boa, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I am all in for that one.
Yeah. So that crazy hairstyle.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. So they came out later, and they're like, so back in the day when that came out, the fans were making up excuses of the hair because the hair was just like so visual K weirdness. If people know visual K, you know what I'm talking about, okay? It's so like visual K weird anime spiky craziness. And the fans were making up excuses like, oh, SM forced them to do that. They would never do that. And they came out. I remember when they came out and went, we wanted to do the hairstyles that way. We chose the hair. Oh,
really?
Yeah, the members chose their own hair. I was like, oh, I'm like, we felt so like embarrassed because the fans hated it so much. I'm like, oh, you poor things. So I was like, that one was great. And then Rising Sun, obviously. That song makes me laugh though, because of Chongmin's no throughout the song. I think it was Chongmin. I think it was Max, yeah. Because he goes, no, and then they start singing, he goes, no. the whole song. And then of course the Melodic music video, which is an iconic music video that everyone knows. And that is that's the time around the time I actually found them. Like all the other stuff, I was like reading comments and things, but like I found them during Melodic. And that was the first K-pop dance I actually learned. I found a mirrored video and I learned the dance. I think I was doing Yuno's part also, or was it Jaejoon's part? I was doing one of their parts. So I learned that dance. It was fun. It was fun. So, and then of course, Changmin or Max, his high notes are freaking legendary in the K-pop community. No one can do it like him. No one.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was so good. TVXQ is also in Japan. TVXQ is the foreign artist with the most number ones, most top tens, highest cumulative sales in Oricon sales chart history. And that was as of recently. So they're still super popular. They're still killing it. Let's see. Their Begin Again tour broke several records as well. They're the first music group in Japan to hold a 3-day concert at the Nissan Stadium, and they're the first foreign artists to bring over 1 million people with one tour. The tour broke a new record for K-pop in Japan with a total of 1 million tickets sold. Also, their concerts sold out in minutes constantly. They broke Elton John's tour record in in Japan. They broke the Carpenters records in Japan. They are only like the only person. Let's see what they say. They're in the top 3 best-selling artists with records and number ones and stuff, along with Michael Jackson. They didn't say who the other group was, but they're up there with Michael Jackson in Japan as of popularity-wise, which is insane.
I was stunned to find out how popular they were in Japan. I can understand how SM was like, all right, we put Boa there, and Boa took off. You know, the Japanese market is proving to be lucrative for us. So let's get these guys out there too. I had no idea that they were pretty much like the top notch of the Korean acts that were able to cross over into Japan. Like they are huge there. I had no idea.
Yeah, and they're all still getting number ones and stuff over there, including, like I said, Jaejoon and Junsu. They're all hitting number one over there on the charts. And their Melodic, it was supposed to release in September 24th, but due to an unprecedented amount of pre-orders, they had to postpone the release date by 2 days to get more albums out. I was like, I've never heard of that before, but that's cool. So their song Triangle, Larry said that. Nah. Let me delete this. Okay. So did you listen to the song Purple Line?
I feel like I did.
The Purple Line. It's a song. Okay. So they have a line that's infamous in that song.
Really?
It's in English, of course. So in the song, so the English speaking members complained to the producers and one of them said this song, they're like, this line is ridiculous. This it doesn't make any sense. And SM goes, it sounds cool, so we're gonna keep it. So the line is, I really want to touch myself.
Whoa.
And they're like, what? No, I really want to touch myself. I was like as an English speaker, I was like, what is the song about? Because I didn't have subtitles. I was like, what is this song about? And so apparently, once again, I don't know credibility, but this is what I found in my research. Apparently, what it was originally going to say was, I want to be in touch with myself. But SM said it was too long. It didn't sound cool enough. So they switched it to, I really want to touch myself. And this was the group's first single to debut at #1 on the Japanese charts. And it was on it for 10 weeks, I think. It killed it. I remember the Cassies were freaking out. Like, it's still there. We're #1. Oh my gosh. They were freaking out. It was so fantastic. And then the music video Balloons. Did you watch that one? You would
Balloons,
remember
yep.
it. Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that one.
You would remember that one. So they're all in the onesies. So the little kids, apparently, 2 of them are current idols.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Okay. So one of them was Moonbin from Astro and Chanwoo from Icon.
Nice.
Yeah. I was like, this music video is just, I can't show it to people though, because it's just like, it's embarrassing. And then they had the song with Koda Kumi. It was My Angel. That song was used in the Japanese release of Resident Evil Extinction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a great song. She is super popular too in Japan. They were really killing it in Japan. Like, I think they were rivaling freaking Boa's popular. Well, obviously they're destroying Boa's popularity because they were killing it. Let's see. And then of course, let's see. Yeah, so I have so much info about all this stuff. I'm gonna stop now. So music video wise, I'm gonna say with like pre the split, I would say my favorite music video. I love Melodic, but I'm gonna say it was Catch Me. Well, okay. Catch Me. It's the one where they're like, not Catch Me. Where was it? It's the one where they're in the maze. It's Breakout. Breakout. It was also the last song they did before the lawsuit. I love that music video. It was very like gothic, themed in that creepy maze. They're being chased by monsters. I really liked that one. It was one of my favorites, and I just like the chorus to it. And let's see, post break up, I would say it's kind of hard because I really liked a lot of the stuff that Max and Yuno did. Because I liked Spellbound, which is that really jazzy one.
Yeah, I love that one.
They also did Something, which was also jazzy. I think I like Something better because they have this scene. Well, first of all, like if you're watching the backup dancers, like the girl like punches this dude out in the background, and they also have this scene where like the breakup dancers were pulling the Harry Potter apparition with like the black smoke, and they'd come in and out, like appear and disappear with him. I like that, and that's also the one where they're chilling with the goddesses. I really like that one as well. But solo stuff, I didn't really like Yuno's things. His style's not my style. But I did like Max's stuff, especially Devil. I get chills when I watch that. I love that. And then there was one called like Crazy or something like that, where he has like this crazy girl going through. It's just great. But yeah, and then Jaejung, I love all of his rock stuff. I'm a visual K girl. I love it. And then Sha, his most popular one that I actually really like too was his Tara. Did you see his Tara Tangulera or something like that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's so good. But his most recent one was Red Diamond, and it's that cute little knit guy going on an adventure. I recommend watching his stuff. It's cute. That one was super cute. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but there's this little knit boy going on an adventure on this like knit. It's just cute. But I'm gonna say Trantagulera. It's very experimental, and that's another thing about these second gen groups. They're all very experimental with their music and their sounds and their everything, and I appreciate that. Did you have any like standout songs or anything that you really liked from them?
Yeah, my introduction to TVXQ was this documentary that I have on DVD. It's the SM Town I Am documentary.
Oh.
and it has like all of the different groups. Is when they came to, I want to say they came to Madison Square Garden, um, and it's Girls' Generation and Boa, and I think yeah, and Shiny and FX.
Ooh.
But TVXQ was like the first, and they're in it too, and they were like the first. That was my first exposure to them because they come to the stage on like zip lines, kind of,
That would be fun.
but slower, like a really slow zip line. But it starts from the back of the stadium and it goes all the way down to the stage, and I'm like,
Ooh.
who the hell are these two guys that they get this much production value when Girls' Generation is right there? Like, what is happening? So yeah, so that was my first exposure to them. So I've always thought of them as being just like a two-member group.
Mhm.
So that being said, I like them as five members because I love all of the harmonies.
Yeah.
I love the first song, Hug, and I also love there's a ballad called Thanks too, that I think is really amazing. Rising Sun, I loved a lot. But then, as you know, after the split and they became like two members, I really like. There's a point where they went from being like boy band members to being like grown and sexy men,
Yeah.
and all the songs that they have after the grown and sexy phase, I love. Like everything from we already talked about something Spellbound. I loved. There's a song called Champagne.
Oh
That's
yeah.
just song.
Mhm.
Love that song. And I didn't know. I for some reason I thought their music only went to 2018.
Oh
Like
no.
I did not realize because the list that I got, I tried to watch as many videos as I can, and it only went up to 2018. So
Yeah.
then when I saw that they had like music that came out in 2023, I'm like, oh my god, they're still at it at
Yeah.
20 years in a game. So yeah, even the new stuff. Rebel, I think, is awesome.
Oh
Which
yeah.
you played the clip from.
Mhm.
So yeah, they're like anything. I love the five group harmony stuff, but I really love just the two guys in the suits being grown and sexy. I love everything that they've done post that.
Yeah. They really matured very quickly. Also their music video before you go.
Hmm.
It's that one where it's like the guy sniping and like whatever they're trying to take
Yes,
that out.
yes.
There is a 16-minute drama version of that. So you can get the full story in 16 minutes. It's actually not that bad. I was like, oh, and I kind of interject the music throughout. So for people who are into that and they're like, second geners didn't do storylines in their this one is 16 minutes. Don't tell me they didn't do storylines.
Yeah.
So so they changed the industry in a big way, positive way, I think. Went through some hard times. However, also in their but they came out on top, I think.
Yes.
You struggle, you grow, you hopefully get better. And I feel like they are what you look for in that, for the most part. But I'm still sad that it happened. I remember when it happened because like I said, I was an unofficial Cassie at the time. And as an unofficial Cassie, and a foreign one at that, I was so confused, I was like, what's going on? What's going on with my group? you know?
Yeah.
But and then I was like, I hope they don't delete like their music videos because that's all I have, It's literally all I had. Also something else that was kind of funny, when you watch them do shows. So Jae-Jun has a YouTube channel where he does interviews for other groups and whatnot. He interviewed Hyuna and she was completely wasted the whole time.
Oh no.
She was actually in the interview, he goes, he's like, you smell like alcohol. Are you hungover? She goes, yeah. And he's like, should we not drink? She's like, no, let's drink some more. So she gets even more smashed. And he's like, okay.
Wow.
I'm like, all right, Hyuna, calm down. But he does interviews and stuff. It's on his YouTube channel. They're funny. I like them. They're not as funny as Jessie because Jessie's Jessie, but like
Right.
they're great. They're great. But they talked about in a show a while ago. course, watch the shows. They made them do these little dramas back in the day, like their little idol dramas. And this one's called Dangerous Love. It's on Daily Motion. It's not on YouTube. It's super awkward. I recommend it. So the storyline, Jaejong and stopped talking to each other for a week after filming this. Okay.
Wow.
So, the reason being is that this show was playing off of ships, and the ship, the main one, was Jaejong and and
wow.
so it starts off with like. Yuno's acting weird, and Jaejong's like, "What's going on? Why are you acting weird towards me?" And Yuno goes, "Hey, I found a fan fiction about us. It's funny. Read it." And Jaejong's like, "What?" And so they made them. So in the fan fiction, they acted out. Shoves Jaejong up against this like phone booth and like aggressively like confesses his feelings to him. And they said they made them do that over and over and over
no.
again and again and again. I'm like, that's probably because the girls in the production team were fangirling over this,
Yeah.
So and then the whole show is just, like being awkward, and Jaejong's like, oh god, is he gonna confess to me? Why is that why he gave me the fan fiction? What's going on? Like he would princess carry Jujung and he'd do all this stuff. And then like at the end, and then of course they had Max and Junsu as a ship too. It's just it's weird. It's funny. And at the end, Jaejong's like, okay, dude, what's going on? Why are you being nice to me? And like, or Jaejong's like, do you have feelings for me or something, dude? And he's like, no. He's like, no. He's like, well, then why are you being nice? He's like, I broke your camera. It's just like, what? So they're like playing off of the ships to get people to watch it, obviously. And I was like, of course, if I was forced to do that with a coworker or a friend, I wouldn't want to talk to them for a week either. I'd be really weird.
Seriously.
I'd be weirded out. Like, I don't want to. And I also don't really get to say no when they have to do that stuff. And I was just like, it's funny though. I enjoyed watching it. I cringed and I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. So I recommend it. Of course. But I feel bad for them, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm the target demographic for this. But yeah, DBSK, I wish them the best. I wish Jaejong and everyone and Sha and even Mickey, I hope he pulls his life together, really. I don't wish anything bad on him. I hope he gets better. He's out of prison now, and I hope he gets like the help that he needs for that. And he can succeed in life and what, But if any of these guys come to the US, I'm flying out to see you. I'm not going to have a light stick, but I'll be there. So come to the US. I know Jaejong's talking about doing a world tour again. So I hope, and he's actually going to start an idol company, and he already has a boy band all set up to debut.
Wow.
Yeah. So, well, when you're not blacklisted or shadow banned from the Korean media anymore, you can do that. So yeah, he's moving out. He sold his place in Japan and he's moving back to Korea. So, and he has cute kitties. He also has TV shows because they could do dramas. So he's been in a couple. He was What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, and then something about Manhole. I don't recommend that one. And then he had a reality show about photography, which was fun. All seasons of that was really fun. So I recommend that. I recommend trying to find some of Junsu's plays because he's really good and they're fun. And I just love plays. Musical theater is great. And then normal DBSK,
yes,
or TVXQ, whatever you want to call them. They will always be DBSK to me. With Max and give them support, no hate. It was great seeing them at Mama. They were like, Yoshiki and them were the highlights for that. So I was really happy to see them, and happy 20th anniversary, guys.
That's crazy. In a world of K-pop, to debut and then 20 years later still be dropping like still be thought of as like, sexy and still able to do the dance moves and still keep that high standard of K-pop going like 20 years into it. It's unheard of.
Yep, that's why they're the gods of K-pop. Like, no one is like, people get close, but like they're everyone knows them. Everyone knows them. So, and good luck doing freaking Max's high notes, guys. Especially with the Rising Sun one. Good luck. You can get close, but no one does it like Max does. So, yeah, I love them. Highly recommend them. Highly recommend the solo stuff. Highly recommend Jaejun and Junsu's stuff. I can't sing enough praise, and this is why I don't usually do groups that I'm ultra like into, because I can't shut up. I really try, but it's hard. So yeah, those are my final thoughts. Any final thoughts, Mark, at all?
I would say yes. Just continue to support them. If you if you haven't had a chance to check them out, definitely check out some of their newer stuff. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye out for them now because, like I said, my first introduction was just two old guys that used to be famous back in the day. But I'm like, yeah, get out of the way. FX is on stage. I don't care about the old guys. But now I'm like, oh, they're actually really cool. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be following them from now on. I definitely like where they are as an older, mature K-pop group. I think they're just fantastic.
Yeah, they really are. As an unofficial Cassie, it makes me so happy to hear that. All right, so thank you guys once again. And you can catch me on the Definitive Crusade, where we talk about all things DC Comics. And recently, some of my co-stars are in another show called the Old Timers Podcast, and they are celebrating their 100th episode. So woo-hoo! Congratulations to them. Woo! I don't know what episode we're on. We're not nearly that close. So. But yeah, go check them out. And what do you got going on, Mark?
You can catch me every week on Soul Wizard Podcast, where me and my co-hosts Joey and Aubrey get together and discuss movie reviews on new reviews on movies and TV shows and all types of pop culture things. We're doing whatever the new release is. We just did Dune Part 2. Ooh. We have Damsel, Netflix movie with Millie Bobby Brown coming up. And I'm sure there's a Monkey Man, the Dev Patel action movie coming up. We have a lot of really cool, nerdy things happening. But you can catch us, Soul Wizard Podcast, soulwizardpodcast.com.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks once again, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.